Welcome to the Psychic Pastry Chef, where two unlikely worlds merge. Here in these videos, I'm going to show you great desserts, cakes, and pastries you can make at home to impress your family and friends and give you psychic predictions while doing so for each sign of the zodiac. This season will be a little different than the previous season of the Psychic Pastry Chef, where I'm making the cakes, desserts, and pastries that people have written in and requested. So today, I'll be making coconut cream pie. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. So the first thing we need to do for this recipe is to make the crust for the pie. Now you can make your traditional crust that you like if you use shortening, ice water, flour, and salt. But I like to use butter in my crusts. I feel a little bit better about eating them that way, and a lot of people like them better. But it's your choice. But I'm going to show you the crust I like to use for pies. So what you're going to need first is 6½ tablespoons of butter, unsalted butter. Put this in a mixer. Now, I did have somebody inquire if they didn't have a KitchenAid mixer like this, how could they make some of the doughs? You can make this by hand on a counter in a bowl and then on a counter mixing it with your hands. You do not need to use a mixer, but I like my KitchenAid mixer, so I'm going to use that. Next thing you want to add is ½ teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar to the butter. So I'm going to use the paddle and I'm going to mix these two together. Next thing you want to do is add the egg and milk and mix it for a few seconds. It's half an egg beaten with 2 tablespoons of milk. Sometimes the butter is going to stick and attach to the sides of the mixer, so you need to scrape it down, and especially in this type of mixer, there's a little bump on the bottom, and you don't want your ingredients to stick and get clumped up down there. Okay, now you're going to add your flour, which is 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and you're going to add this all at once. Make sure you start this back out on low or you're going to have a face full of flour. And you just want to mix this on medium speed, really just to incorporate the mixture. You're not trying to over-mix it here. I'm going to scrape it just a little bit, mix it one more time, and then we'll take it out. Now with this dough, it's best if you can let it sit in the refrigerator 20 minutes to a half an hour prior to rolling it out. If you don't have that time and you feel like your dough is stiff enough and not too sticky, you can roll it out right away. That's your call. You have to be the judge of how sticky you feel this dough is and if you can roll it out without it sticking. All right, so now I'm going to take the rest of it out and mix it a little bit on the counter or in my hands really, just to incorporate it all. So the first sign I'm going to look into is going to be Aries. And the predictions in these readings are going to be for possibly the end of 2018 and mostly 2019, because this really is covering both time frames. Aries, I pick up some situations that are going to arise for you that might make you a little bit upset, because you might feel like you're having like a little bit of a lack of control, and you're not going to like that. Nobody likes lack of control, but it's going to put you in a position where you may feel a little powerless about something. But I do see Aries finding some solutions to some old problems, so that will be good for you, Aries. And it's also a good time for Aries to get out and about and socialize with some new people, get a new group of friends, or you don't have to get rid of your old friends, but it would be good for you to start associating with make some new friends, get involved in new groups in 2018 going into 2019. Okay, so now I have Got my dough here. Now, I can tell you by feeling it, my dough here is too sticky for me to try to attempt to roll it out. So I've got to put it in the fridge for about 20 minutes to a half an hour until I can roll it out. So now I'm going to roll out the dough, and this is a really good consistency. It's firm, it's cold, it's not too sticky, just the right consistency. So I'm going to flour the board. Now, I like to grease my pie tins. Some of you may say why. I don't know. It's habit. So I have some softened butter here. You could use cooking spray, but I don't really like the flavor of cooking spray. Sometimes I feel that actually makes, adds a strange flavor. Not always. That's just my own personal opinion. You can do whatever you want. I do use cooking spray at times. So got that grease. Now I'm going to roll it out. And the other thing you may need is a spatula or a French knife. You don't have to use a decorating spatula, but if you have a long knife, that would work well. So you always want to really roll from the center out. And Taurus, you're going to be doing things differently than you did before. You're going to have some a change of patterns, a change of what you were doing. It could be a career change, or a business change. You may have had a hard time getting things together, Taurus. You may have felt like there was a lot of things pressing on you, like pressure, like coming down on your back. And you may have gotten quite tired and fed up of that. And this could be one of the reasons that you're making some changes here. Some of you are going to have a new romance that's going to come in, and it could come in the fall of 2018, or it could happen at any time in 2019. But some of you have new love and new romance coming in. Watch out, Taurus, for jealousy from family members. You may have some friends or family that are a little jealous. And if they're not jealous about the new love, what they could be jealous about is the changes or any kind of change in your good fortune, especially if you have a job change or an increase in your status or your money. Okay, so it's not the most perfectly round circle, but if you want to make it more even, you can trim away, which would be best, really. All right, so now I'm going to put this dough in the pie tin. Gemini, you may be actually feeling a little left out about something. This could be family, or you could have friends that are all going away on a vacation together, or family going away, or something. I get some of you may feel a little left out. This could be in April of 2019. So now I'm going to curl under the edge of the dough, going around the top. Some of you Geminis are going to receive some kind of accolades or awards about something. This could happen in December of 2018, but it could also be 2019. You know what? This is a little thin on this edge, so I'm going to take this dough and I'm going to add it here. That's probably too much, but it's a little thin in that one spot. Some of you Geminis actually would benefit from more fresh air, exercise, fresh air. The guides are telling me. Okay, so now I've gone all the way around. Now, you could leave it flat if you want to. You don't have to flute it, but if you would like to flute it, you can just take your fingers and make this kind of motion. There's many different edges to pies. You don't have to do this fluted edge. Cancer, some of you are having a difficult time dealing with family. Could even be family gossip or just family in general. Some of you may feel like you want a new start or like you want some kind of makeover. It could be, makeup makeover, hairdo makeover, clothes makeover, just could be a life makeover. Okay, this is the shell. Some of you Cancers may really have felt like in the past year and a half, 2 years, like you've learned a lot of things the hard way, or like you've had a lot of karmic lessons go down. All right, so now what I'm going to do is freeze this crust before I pre-bake it, because for the coconut cream pie, it should be pre-baked. It is going to go in the oven again after you put the filling in it, but you need to pre-bake it. So now I'm going to show you how to make the custard, but I want to finish Cancer's prediction. Some of you are going to have a new home, a new place to live. And this may go against the grain of people in your family or friends. They may not like where you're moving, or if you're moving in with somebody, they may not like it. And I feel that some of you Cancers may actually stumble across something in 2018 or in 2019 where you find a way to make money, or it's found money you didn't know you had, like in an old bank account, or a way to take one of your crafts or hobbies or knowledge and make more money with it. So it's like you're stumbling across something to do with money. So now I'm going to show you how to make the custard. So now we're going to make the custard for the coconut cream pie. So what you're going to need, the ingredients are 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 2½ cups of milk, 4 yolks, 2 tablespoons of butter, 6 ounces of sweetened flake coconut, 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla, and 1 teaspoon of coconut extract, which is optional. And you can also use a pinch of nutmeg, optional. I'm not using nutmeg in my recipe. I actually thought I had some here, but I don't. So I'm not using it, but it is optional. Not everybody likes nutmeg. So the first thing that you want to do here is you're going to mix the cornstarch and the granulated sugar in your saucepan. Some of you Leos are having some people that have put you on pedestals in the past, but then have kind of knocked you down and are driving you crazy. Some of you could have some kind of litigation that's going to go on in 2018 or in 2019. This could result in some kind of family upheaval or feud, and some of you are going to take on additional responsibilities, and it could have to do with family. So here I've mixed the cornstarch and the sugar, and now I'm going to add the 2½ cups of whole milk. You may have some issues with your digestion this year, Leo, so make sure you have plenty of Pepsid AC and try not to eat or drink things that you know have a tendency to irritate it. This could occur around holiday time. It could happen to you in January or at any holiday time, because I feel like holidays are connected to it. I do feel that Leos are going to reach some kind of strategic move and have some kind of like gold mine come up. So I feel like you're going to be doing well financially. Okay, so now I've mixed together the cornstarch and the sugar. Now I've poured in the milk, and now I'm going to cook it over medium heat until it thickly coats the back of a spoon. Okay, but in another bowl before we start, I am going to mix the 4 egg yolks and the vanilla and the coconut extract. So now I'm going to put the 4 egg yolks into this mixing bowl, and I'm going to add the vanilla extracts to it and the coconut extract. You do not have to use the coconut extract. It's not necessary, but I really love things to be extra coconut flavor. Personally, I'm a big coconut gal, so I'm going to add this 1 teaspoon of coconut extract, and I'm going to add 1/2 tablespoon of, which is really 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. All right. So I'm going to whisk this up. I see many of you Virgos just trying to decide what you're going to do about your future. Like your future is going to be heavily on your mind. Now, you have to watch this and stir this because if you just walk away from this, this is going to burn and you're going to curdle your... It's kind of like making pastry cream, really. and you don't want that to be an issue. So you have to keep your eye on it. Some of you Virgos I see taking things that are quite large or big procedures and cutting it down and whittling it down into small size manageable bites. This could be your own business, this could be your work, it could be some project or something you're doing in your home. Some of you Virgos may decide to study, take some kind of course, go back to school, get some additional training. You may have a family member that crosses over to the other side. Somebody may pass away. I don't like to give those predictions, but I am hearing that for some of you Virgos, you may get some kind of notice about that or notification. This feels to me like it's going to happen in springtime of 2019, but really these predictions could happen. That's the way predictions are. They can go backwards, they can go forwards. This person may have already passed away because you don't all have the same birth chart. You're not born on the same month, day, year. You're not born in the same city, country of origin. So even if I'm reading your sign, Virgo, there's, you could be, are you a August Virgo? Are you a September Virgo? What's your birth date? It's all going to affect the timing. So once this custard becomes thick and coats the back of the spoon, I'm going to add 1/3 or half of that hot mixture into this yolks because you don't want it to curdle. You don't want to cook the eggs and make them scrambled. Then I'm going to pour the mixture back into the pot and add this butter, and then I'm going to add the coconut, and then it's going to go into the pre-baked pie shell. Now I already did that to save the essence of time. Because of time factor. So here's the pie shell I made earlier. I baked it off. It's cooled. This mixture also needs to cool before you put it in the pie shell to bake it. Okay, so now this mixture is getting a lot thicker, and that's what you want. So you want it to coat the back of a spoon thickly, as you can see, and if you draw your finger across it, you can tell that it is thick enough. So now what you're going to do is take this mixture, and as I said, you can do half of it at a time or 1/3 at a time, and you want to start adding it to your yolks. The yolks and the extracts that you had here in this bowl. Libras, you're going to start to reach out to some family members you haven't talked to or seen for quite a while. And some of you Libras are going to feel like you want to let go of some kind of old habits or patterns or behaviors. Might be a little hard for you to do, but I feel that you will. This could involve smoking, overeating, shopping, gambling, whatever you feel like you may have a tendency to overdo. Some of you Libras are going to have a big family gathering of some sort. This could be a wedding. It could be, a bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah, a christening, a baptism, something. You've got some big family event you're going to be planning. So now I'm pouring it back into the pot, and I have to switch whisks because, see, this will scratch my nonstick stuff. So that's why I have to switch back and forth to the two. So you put this custard back into the pot. You're going to cook it briefly. You don't have to do it long. And you're going to want to have another bowl ready for it to cool. This is the bowl here we go. Pour it in this bowl after the fact. Now I'm going to add the butter, which was 2 tablespoons of butter. Some of you Libras may have a little trouble with your, like if you have any arthritis or any kind of arthritic pain, or you may have issues or problems that crop up with your joints. You're going to find like you have a lot of people that are respecting you. You're going to have a lot more respect than maybe you have felt like you've gotten in the past. So that's positive. Now I'm going to add, I have added the coconut. I don't need to keep cooking this anymore. So now you can see. Now what you want to do is pour it in another bowl for it to cool. Some of you Libras may even be traveling quite a bit, or traveling or taking a big trip to see either family members at a distance or friends at a distance, or, you know, could just be for fun traveling. But I do get you. I really feel like you're traveling to see someone in particular. So now I've got this custard mixed together. I'm going to cool this down. Now you could put this over an ice bath, a bigger bowl with ice in it, and whisk it to cool it down if you're in a hurry. Or you can just let it cool down at its own speed and pour it in the pre-baked pie shell at a later time. No rush here unless you're in a rush. Okay, now I'm going to put the coconut cream custard into the pre-baked pie shell. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to focus on Scorpio. You're going to have new plans, big plans in 2019, Scorpio. You're going to jumpstart your business or your career in some way. You may also find that some old flame is interested in you again. And any of you Scorpios that have been in any kind of dispute or custody battle may find that you work that out with your significant other in 2019. That feels to me like May, June, July. But as I always say, it could be any time. Now, I'm going to make the meringue. Now I personally like coconut cream pie with whipped cream on the top, but I'm going to show you how to make it with the meringue. So what you need, now remember I separated 4 eggs. I had 4 yolks in the custard. I'm using 5 whites. So you need an additional white for the meringue. And you do want to add some of the sugar at towards the beginning, right when the whites start to get a little foamy. You don't have to add all of it then. Now, as this mixture starts to get foamy like this is where you want to now add the rest of the sugar, and you want to beat this meringue to stiff peaks. Okay, so this is definitely stiff peaks. I see some of you Sagittarians feeling a little blue and maybe a little isolated, or that you want to do things to amp up your image or appearance, and possibly even like do more things to be good to yourself, like to take care of yourself more, to travel, to update your look, anything like that. So now I'm going to get a pastry bag. Now, you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to pipe the meringue on top. You could smooth it over or put it on with a spoon and make a rough look, but I'm going to use a pastry bag. Now I'm going to spoon it into a pastry bag and pipe it on the top. Some of you Sagittarians are going to feel like you need more sun, or move to a place in the sun if you live in a place that's not very sunny, but I see you needing more sun. So I'm going to, let's see, make rosettes. Sagittarius, you may feel like you're having a little bit of an issue communicating with others. You may feel like your communications are off. And some of you Sagittarians are going to find out that you've done a terrific job, and that something that you've done about work or something is going to be met with high praise, approval, and you may even be leading some charge in some dynamic plan, like for a fundraiser, for some kind of benefit. Could be a world-related issue or something in the private sector. And Sagittarius, I also see that this year of 2019, I really feel it's going to be a year where you make more money than maybe you have in other years. Even if you're not working, there would still be a way that money would be coming to you. So don't fret if you're a non-working Sagittarius and you say, well, how's more money going to be coming to me? Somehow it is. So this is the pie with the meringue on it. And the other thing you want to add is some coconut on the top. So you want to add some coconut on the top. And you're going to bake this in a 350-degree oven. Unless your oven runs hot, then you're going to want to bake it at 325 for about 12 to 15 minutes until it's lightly golden brown. In it goes. And here it is out of the oven with the meringue on top. And now I'm going to look into Capricorn. Capricorn, you have some opportunity that's going to come to you. That's going to be pretty big deal and pretty important. You're also going to have a lot of people that are going to be paying attention to what you're doing and saying. You could be on stage, you could be in the spotlight in some way, and you do have an increase in money coming to you. And there may be a lot of people that are surprised about your success, or maybe a little jealous and envious of your success, but you do have some opportunity that's coming to you. This could take place in August of 2018, but as I've said, it could happen in August of 2019 because some of these predictions are going to be happening in 2018 and going into 2019. So now I'm going to show you the other way that you can do this pie, which is the way I like to eat it and my kids like to eat it. And this is, something I used to make at my pastry shop, at different places I've worked at Easter time. Also, people seem to like it in the summertime because it's got, the way I'm going to do it next with the whipped cream. So I'm going to show you what to do next. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do it with whipped cream. So here's a pre-baked shell. Here's the custard. Now, I'm going to thin it out slightly with a little cream because this is very thick. I actually would recommend when you make this cream to, instead of using a quarter of a cup of the cornstarch, I recommend you use a third of the cup, and after a third of a cup, and then after you add everything, put it back on the stove and let it cook a little bit till you see it getting thicker. Don't take it off too quick. I think I took it off too quickly. So I'm just smoothing it out very slightly with this cream, loosening up a little bit because I have to spread it around in the pie shell. Aquarius, you're going to be making some big decisions. This is going to take place for many of you around February or March of 2019. And there's going to be a lot of situations changing, and there's going to be people around you, family members, friends, loved ones that are going to be, they may be gossiping about it a little bit, but not necessarily in a bad way. They could just be wanting to know more. They might want to know more information from you. Many Aquarians are going to feel like finally like their life is on some kind of upward trajectory. So now I'm going to put this coconut cream into the shell. And you got to smooth it down. Pisces, you're going to have some long-lasting effects in 2019, maybe even in 2018, where I see some of you traveling. You could be commuting for work. You could be going at a distance. It could be for pleasure. It could be for a job opportunity, but I see travel for many of you. If you have a business or a job, Pisces, or something like that, you may be changing your format of something you're doing, changing something you're doing, or changing a format. Yeeks! Not good to drop it on top of the pie. You just want to smooth it out. So now I'm going to make the whipped cream, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator just to keep it cold while I whip the cream. I do see Pisces having some really remarkable changes. For some of you, as I said, this could involve work or career or business. I'm going to use 2 cups. I think that might be enough, might be a little too much. but we'll see. Now I have about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of powdered sugar here. I don't know if I'm going to use all of it. Yeah, well, it's all right. It's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to whip this cream to stiff peaks. If you do not have a KitchenAid mixer like this, you can do it with a hand mixer, or you can do it by hand, but that's going to take an awful lot of time and muscle and energy. I don't feel like getting the splash guard, so I'm doing it the way we did in the kitchens, covering it with a towel. It's the way we did it in the bakery. All right, this looks good. Pisces, I also see you listing things for sale. You could be listing your house for sale, vehicles for sale, personal items for sale on auctions, or, you know, listing it like big items for sale. So now I'm gonna, you don't have to use a pastry bag with a tip. This is a star tip. You do not have to do that if you do not want. You can just spoon it on the top and smooth it around, or make wavy lumps and wavy peaks with a spoon. You don't have to use pastry bag. You don't want to. So as I said, a lot of times I would make this at Easter. A lot of people think of coconut at Easter. Summertime, people like whipped cream. Now, you don't even have to fill in the whole pie with whipped cream if you don't want. You could just do the outside edges. So this was about 2 cups of cream and about a 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of powdered sugar. You don't have to add powdered sugar if you don't want your whipped cream sweet. You can just leave it the flavor of the cream. I happen to like it sweeter. You can also add vanilla to your whipped cream if you like. I did not today, but many times I do add vanilla. So it'll be your choice to decide. Are you going to like it with the meringue, or are you going to like it better with whipped cream? Personally, I like it better with whipped cream, but you know, there are some big meringue lovers out there, so you know, you may want to do it with meringue. So like I said, this was 2 cups of heavy cream in the mixer. Now I'm adding toasted coconut just to, you know, give it a little zing. And so now you see how to make coconut cream pie in 2 different ways. So there is coconut cream pie. So now we have to taste it and see what we think. So you ready to see what this tastes like? I am. Cut into this coconut cream pie. And like I said, this was actually a request from a viewer, which many of these recipes this season are going to be. All right, there we go. Ready? It's kind of a messy piece. Second piece would look better. Let's see. Can't beat coconut cream pie. Awesome. I know you're going to love it. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please remember to follow your true passions in life. That way you'll know you're on your true path. Until next time. Thanks for watching The Psychic Pastry Chef. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in getting any of the special videos I've recorded for my Psychic Pastry Chef Vimeo On Demand channel with more recipes and psychic predictions for 2018 for each sign of the zodiac, you can access these videos for purchase by clicking on the link below this video, or you can go to my website, www.thepsychicpastrychef.com, and click on the videos tab on my menu. If you're interested in scheduling a private psychic reading with me, or purchasing any of the special videos that I record monthly for each sign of the zodiac for my Lucky Mermaid Vimeo On Demand channel, you can access those videos for purchase by clicking on the videos tab on my menu at www.theluckymermaid.com And go to my order page online scheduling calendar for booking new appointments, which reopens every 4 to 5 months. See you next month.